This is the exact routine I use to build an elite calisthenics physique while developing real strength and advanced skills. And the best part, it's way simpler than it looks. Right now I'm at this insane outdoor gym in Bali, and the routine that I'm about to show you, you can simply do this anywhere and start building real progress. In this video I'm going to break down the 4 key principles that I've learned over the past 10 years. So by the end of this video you know exactly what structure to use in your training to get real long-term results. Because the thing is, most people overcomplicate calisthenics and training in general. They focus on too many things at the same time. Skill training, strength training, endurance training, hypertrophy, mobility, everything at once. And the result of that is lack of consistency and you end up doing nothing. But the truth is, simplicity is key. So let me show you how to structure your training the right way. But before thinking about training, you first need to start with goal setting. Because if you don't have clarity on the goals, you don't know which path you should follow. So one key principle here in calisthenics is pick 2 main goals, especially in regards to skills. And most importantly, pick skills you actually want to learn, because if you enjoy what you're doing, you're much more likely to stay consistent. So for example, if you're a beginner, choose the elbow lever and the L-sit. If you're more intermediate, go for the handstand and the muscle up, or if you're more advanced, choose the planche and the front lever. That's it. No more skills, just these 2, no distraction and pure focus. So now that your goals are clear, let's create a structure around achieving those goals. And every proper training routine should consist out of 4 main parts. And I will go over all of them briefly. So what I see very often, people jump straight into the workouts without warming up and then wonder why they get wrist pain, shoulder pain, resulting in being out of training for 2 weeks or even months. So instead, what you want to do, you want to focus on a good preparation phase before every single training that at least should include scapular work, rotator cuff work, joint activation work, and finally shoulder activation work. Now the second part of your training protocol is about skill training. This is where you build strength, control and technique. And in terms of skill training structure, I'd like to approach skill training in a superset way, so training back to back, especially if you're training pull and push at the same time. So before you start skill training, you want to do at least 1 warm-up set. So for me in this case, this is the tucked front lever. So just grab, make sure you activate all the important muscles that you're gonna use. So that means your lats, your core, everything is engaged. And pick a progression that you can easily do for about 10 to 15 seconds. So this gets all the muscles involved active for your actual skill training. The same applies for your planche or push dominant skill that you're working on. So in my case, that would be the tucked planche. So I push as hard as I can, activate everything, my forearms are warmed up and ready for real load. To prepare myself for the actual skill training, I want you to know this really important thing. Most people see skill training as a fun part of their journey. The thing is, where most people make a big mistake is just randomly doing several skills at the same time and not taking enough rest in between the skills. So for example, I could do a front lever right here, then do a planche here, then maybe do a handstand and then get back into the front lever again. But this is not how you should approach your skill training. You need to have actual rest to prepare yourself for the next set. And with strength training, this is actually quite long. So you should take at least 2 to 3 minutes of rest in between your sets, even if you're supersetting. All right, so now let's get ready for the actual hold. And in terms of intensity, I want you to pick a progression that you can hold for about 5 to 10 seconds. And always start with training with your own body weight first. So no band assisted or other assisted variations. Just let your body adapt to the actual intensity, to your actual body weight that you want to carry over in your skill. So in my case, this is the full front lever. So I'm taking a slight step back into the single leg front lever. Here we go. All right, I guess that was around 5 seconds. Now let's take some rest and do the exact same thing for the planche. So for the planche, I'm currently working towards the straddle planche. So I'm going 1 progression back, the advanced tuck planche, and try to hold this for about 5 to 10 seconds. So now in terms of volume, you want to do about 5 sets of each skill during your session. The first 3 sets should be with high intensity, while the last 2 sets should be about more volume and technique and letting your body learn the actual skill that you want to obtain. So then when you're finished with your first 3 intensity sets, you can move on to assisted work. So in this case, that would look like this. You grab the band around your hips. And now with this variation, you actually want to try the full hold that you want to work towards. So in this case, for me, that's the full front lever. Let's get down, control. And of course, you can apply and superset this with the planche or the other skill that you're working towards as well. All right, so the key line for your skill practice is start with the hardest progression first and then work your way down with assisted or easier variations. Once you get that down, it's time for the third part of your workout structure, and that is strength training. And this is really your foundation, and actually what most people still skip. Because without strength, your skills won't progress. So in terms of structure, you want to focus on 3 main categories. The first one is push, the second one is pull, and the third one is core strength. But there's one main thing most people get wrong about strength training, especially in calisthenics. All right, so my camera just died because it's overheated. It's so freaking hot out here. So let me just continue on my camera. So what I was saying, a lot of people, when they start with strength training, they make a common mistake, and that is they focus a lot on volume. So doing a lot of repetitions, for example, doing max amount of pull-ups, max amount of push-ups, but that's actually not how you build strength. In strength training, in calisthenics, you also want to focus on low repetitions with high intensity sets and a lot of rest in between those sets. So you can put your max effort in each new set. So today I'm focusing on the pike push-ups, weighted pull-ups, and for the core I'm focusing on dragon flag holds. So let me just start with the pike push-ups and show you how that looks. So I pick a progression where I personally think I can do about 5 repetitions. If this gets easy for me, I can increase the difficulty, for example, by flipping the box and making it harder for myself. So let's find that out right now. Get in the perfect position. 1, 2, clean reps, full range of motion. 3, 4, one more, 5. Okay, so as you could tell, that was pretty doable for me. And in terms of the amount of effort you put in each set, you should think about having 1 or 2 reps in reserve. If you have this and you reach your 5 repetitions, while you maintain 1 to 2 reps in reserve, you can increase the difficulty immediately. So in this case, I might just flip over the box, elevate my body, and make this a little bit harder for myself. Now I'm just gonna chill out, wait for at least 3 minutes, do some stretching in between, and get mentally ready for the next set. So another pro tip I can give you guys is stretching in between your sets. So if you do strength training and you have a lot of rest in between those sets, you don't just want to do 3 minutes and wait and do nothing. You want to keep moving and improve your range of motion and your flexibility. So what I personally do and what helps me a lot is just stretching the muscles that I'm actually training at the moment. So for example, with the pike push-up, you're putting a lot of strain on your front delts. So what you can do is just do a counter stretch, for example, the prayer pose behind your back, just to counter stretch those muscles. Do this for about 30 seconds, and afterwards you get yourself mentally ready for the next set. In this case, you're combining 2 things together. You're improving your strength, but also your flexibility and mobility. All right, so time is up. Let's start with the final set of the elevated pike push-up. I just flipped the box, so let's see how that plays out. We want to go all out here, max effort, and see if we can get 5 to 6 repetitions with the perfect form. So here we go. Leaning forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more, 1 more. So that was probably around 1 rep in reserve, which is good. So that was 3 sets in total, and that's it. No more extra volume here, no more extra sets, just pure strength training and focusing on high quality reps. So for the weighted pull-up, I'm gonna do the exact same approach. I'll get my body active, I do about 1 to 2 warm-up sets, and I just focus on 3 quality sets with around 20 to 30 kgs. with a weight that I can do about 3 to 6 repetitions. All right, so then for core, the exact same thing applies. And this is where most people make a big mistake. Most people train their abs or their core in like a 10 to 15 minute sequence right after their training sessions and doing a lot of crunches, sit-ups, a lot of high volume work. This is actually not how you build a really strong core. You should approach your core training exactly as your push training, your pull training, like the big muscles that you also train, even how you train your legs. So when I train my core, I also focus on 3 to 4 sets with low amount of repetitions. In this case, the dragon flag. So that looks like this. And you can make this exercise easier depending on your level. But I'm just gonna do the full dragon flag. So I go up, pick a progression where I think I can do about 5 reps. Go all the way down, hold it for a moment, go up. Let's do 3 more. 4. Oh, here we go. So that's 5 reps right there. And you can adjust this, of course, to your own level. You can do the tuck dragon flag or the single leg dragon flag. Right, so the key takeaway in strength training, you want to approach strength training with high intensity work. So now let me go over the 4th aspect of your training structure, and that is accessory work. And this is where you build on 2 things. So the first one, injury prevention work. Here you want to think about strengthening your weak parts. In calisthenics, many people tend to have issues with elbow pain, shoulder pain, or even knee pain because we put a lot of load on our joints, myself included, talking from experience. So in this part of your training, you don't want to neglect the weak points in your body, but you actually want to increase them. In my case, I work a lot on grip strength these days. So I do a lot of flexion work and a lot of extension work, grabbing a small dumbbell and doing just slow and controlled reps and building up the strength in those forearm muscles. You can also do this for your rotator cuff work. A lot of people tend to get issues here because we put a lot of strain on our shoulder and scapula area. So for example, one good exercise you can do is external rotations to strengthen those rotator cuff muscles. So then the second part of your accessory work should be working on your missing muscles. Because let's be honest, we're not only here to get stronger and to learn skills, we also just want to look good, and we also want to build a proper, well-rounded physique. So if you lack upper chest muscles, do decline push-ups. If you want to build your biceps, do ring curls. If you want to build your triceps, start doing tricep extensions on the floor. Or even in regards to skills, you can focus on banded work where you grab a band and work on your straight arm strength by doing straight arm pulls and straight arm push with a band. So the key takeaway for this training block is find what you're lacking and train it specifically. Another key factor that made a huge difference to me is my environment. So the 3rd principle is building the right environment around you. Because your environment matters a lot more than you think. Your surroundings can either push you forward or hold you back. And here at Nirvana Live Fitness, you really feel that. The space, the equipment, the freedom to train, everything here is built for performance. And that is exactly what you should create for yourself as well. If you're training at home, create the perfect base, maybe like a basement or maybe a spare room that you really build into a high performance surrounding for yourself, because that environment will attract you to keep you pushing to the next level. And then second, the people that you surround yourself with has a huge positive impact or a negative one, depending on the people that you surround yourself with. For example, here at Nirvana Live Fitness, there are so many high level athletes that really pushes you to the next level. Even if you're just training on your own, you get motivated from seeing all these people doing all these crazy stuff. And the best part, they're actually here to help you out as well. That's the beauty of calisthenics. So if you're training from home or in your own local area, find a place where you can connect with other like-minded people that really pushes you to the next level and get tips from other people. For me, for example, here at Nirvana, I'm joining the mobility classes that really made a huge difference. I'm even getting to the point that I'm finally able to unlock the pancake stretch that has been a huge struggle for the last few years. But here, I finally found the right structure, the right technique, the right tips, the right teachers that really pushes me to finally get that in. And finally, the last piece of the puzzle is your recovery, principle 4. Because training is only one part of the equation. It's maybe 10% of your day, but the other 90% is what really determines your long-term progress. So this can be divided in 4 key things. And the first one is your nutrition. Because the rule here is what you put in is really what you get out. So 3 things that you should absolutely do for only once. The first thing is finding your caloric and macronutrient needs. Then secondly, track your food at least for 3 to 6 months so you get a feel feel of what you're putting in and what suits your current body at this stage. And then third, make it easy to eat healthy. And you can do this by prepping your meals, getting a fixed grocery shopping list, or having the right options for you available at all time to eat healthy. The second part about optimizing your recovery is doing active body work. So here you should focus on doing daily mobility. So make sure you stretch every single day. And third, you can do some massages to really relax your body and get the blood flowing. That's what I'm doing here at Nirvana. I'm taking about one massage every single week where I focus on deep tissue massage to really get the pressure out of the muscles. Then third, you can immerse yourself in cold exposure, ice baths, saunas, because this can really help relax the body and also giving you more mental clarity. For me personally, I don't do any ice baths 4 to 6 hours after strength training because it can interfere with your muscle growth, but I do use it, for example, when I start my day in the morning to really get myself active, mental sharpness, getting some clarity before I start my work day and get into some focused mode. And now and then getting into the sauna, especially infrared sauna, can really help activating the blood flow, especially towards your tendons. So that's why I'm taking these infrared saunas and just regular saunas to just chill down and relax my body. And that actually gets me to the final point of recovery, and that is relaxation. And this is one part that many people forget, especially in the Western world, where we are constantly active, thinking about our work, thinking about all the things that we have going on in our head, just being on and on all the time. Instead, make sure that you every day take some time to get out in the sun, relax your body, just be in the moment for like 20 to 30 minutes, reflecting on your journey, thinking about where you want to go in your life and your training. That really helps to relax your body and mind. It reduces stress, which will then automatically improve your performance in everyday life and in your training. So guys, if you want to build real calisthenics strength and maximize your performance, then just keep it simple. First, pick clear, realistic goals. Then secondly, follow a structured plan around achieving those goals. Then third, build an environment that keeps you consistent and pushes you to the next level. And fourth, take recovery seriously. So now make sure to implement all these things. And if you want help achieving and implementing all these things in your life, then make sure to check out our Calisthenics Family app, in which you get structured plans around your goals, where we help you pick the right progressions at your certain level and give you a plan that fits to your schedule, so you stay consistent while getting involved in a global calisthenics community that keeps you going and going and going. Make sure to click the first link in the description, download the app and start completely for free. And finally, if you ever get a chance to train in a place like this in Bali or somewhere else where you have everything in one place, training, environment and a good community, then I would highly recommend it. This will definitely boost you to the next level. If you're in Bali, check out this gym, Nirvana Live. And before I wrap up this video, let's do another weekly calisthenics equipment giveaway that we're always doing on the channel. And in this video, I'm giving away one set of Calisthenics Family resistance bands. So one of you can start with the basics and keep progressing from there with the help of these bands. So how to win? Make sure to like this video, subscribe and comment within the first 7 days after publishing this video. The winner will be announced in next week's video. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in one of the next videos. Peace out.